Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Generation Tech. Alan is off on a hiking vacation to the forest moon of Endor today, so I'm filling in for him. In fact, right now he's probably sitting down around the campfire, tucking into a skinned and roasted Ewok. Or maybe not. I'm sure it'll be fine. Now, today we are going to look at the actual size of some of the ships in the Star Wars universe in relation to things we know and understand. So the fighters like X-Wings, A-Wings, TIE Fighters, etc., they're pretty much the size of a modern fighter jet, so we're not going to cover those. But you may not have realized just how massive some of these other ships actually are. We'll start with a relatively small one. The Millennium Falcon is about 34 meters by 34 meters. That puts it in a similar range of size to an Olympic swimming pool, which is 50 meters long and 25 meters wide. So yeah, it's not nearly as big as the saucer section of the Enterprise. Just to take a stab at all those online trolls. But yeah, the Millennium Falcon did actually appear in a Star Trek movie for a split second. In the Battle of Sector 001 in Star Trek First Contact, you can see it in the background in this shot, fighting the Borg Q. Apparently that's it there. This happened courtesy of John Knoll from Industrial Light and Magic, who just finished working on the Star Wars remastered special editions and had the newly developed 3D model of the Millennium Falcon, and he added it in the background as an Easter egg for fans in Star Trek First Contact. Now for the Imperial class Star Destroyer, which is 1,600 meters or a mile long. That's the length of 5 of the US Navy's Nimitz-class aircraft carriers, which are 330 meters long. You could also say it's twice as long as the Burj Khalifa is high. No, that's Wiz Khalifa. Ah, that's better. Now for some more mind-boggling figures. At the height of the Empire, the Imperial Navy operated 25,000 Star Destroyers. They were manufactured at the Quat shipyards, a floating ring with 300 kilometers of habitable area around the planet of Quat. In addition to starships, Quat's other exports include alcohol and luxury goods. Sounds like Terminal 1 at JFK. The Star Destroyer program was rumored to have cost half the budget of the entire Empire. There were 25,000 ships, each with 50,000 men on board. That's a workforce of 1,250,000,000 people, all with salaries to pay. And what about the pensions of the hundreds of millions of retired officers? And I thought the F-35 program was expensive. Now we reach the biggest of the big in terms of Star Destroyers. The Executor was Darth Vader's command ship after the first Death Star was destroyed. It was 19,000 kilometers or 12 miles long. That's the size of Manhattan. Up here would be Harlem, then down to Central Park. Chinatown would be here, and here's Wall Street. It was so big that according to Star Wars legends, it had a beltway that ran from bow to stern to transport cargo and people, kind of like that baggage claim at the airport, but hopefully without the clumsy baggage handlers. But all massive space weapons in Star Wars have one weakness. And the Executor is no different. Target the bridge, and the entire ship is finished. Now on to the ultimate space weapon. The Death Star from A New Hope was supposed to be 100 miles in diameter.
Look at the size of that thing.
Employing a crew of over 1 million people. That's more than the population of the entire country of Cyprus. It had 357 internal levels, but the main habitable section was the crust. It was built mainly by machines and a large number of Wookiee slaves. The battle station could carry enough food to sustain itself for 3 years. Now it got even bigger with the second Death Star, which was supposedly 560 miles across. If that's true, this should have actually been the longest death scene ever. When the Emperor fell down the reactor shaft, which supposedly went right to the core, that would have been a distance of 280 miles. Now if he hit the same terminal velocity that a human skydiver hits in Earth's atmosphere, 122 miles per hour, it would have taken him over 2 hours to reach the core. Luke and Darth Vader would be like sitting there having a sandwich, catching up on old times. But you know, there is some confusion about the size of Death Star 1 and 2, and some estimates put their size at quite a bit smaller. But no matter what, they both still really were the size of a small moon. When this Manhattan-sized Executor Star Destroyer crashes into the surface of Death Star 2 in Return of the Jedi, you can't see any curvature on the surface of the Death Star, suggesting that the sphere is truly massive. And also the fact that the ship falls towards the battle station after its bridge is destroyed suggests that the Death Star is big enough to create its own gravity and draw the ship in. So guys, those are just some facts and figures to give you an idea of the sheer size of some of these ships in the Star Wars universe. Please leave your comments below, subscribe for new videos almost every day. Oh, and there was one more thing Alan asked me to say. Oh, if you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.